सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने तो कह दिया कि होमोसेक्सुअलिटी क्राइम है। नहीं, उन्होंने नहीं कहा। यानी आर्टिकल 377 में जो कहा है उसी बात को आगे बढ़ाने का प्रयत्न करते हुए सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कह दिया कि पार्लियामेंट अगर चाहे तो इसे बदल सकती है, और वो अगर ऑर्डिनेंस लेकर आए तो शायद हमारे जो LGBT कम्युनिटी के प्रतिनिधि हैं उन्हें कुछ सहायता मिलेगी। मुंबई वी वेट विद बेटेड ब्रेथ टू सी के भारतीय लोकतंत्र हमारे LGBT के लिए क्या करने वाला है। बट उसके पहले फेसबुक कम्युनिटीज लॉन्च हो गई हैं। जीतू राज जैसे रेडियो जॉकीज इसके बारे में बातें करने लग गए हैं। एंड देवदत्त पटनायक जो माइथोलॉजी के गुरु हैं, एंड महाभारत जो टेलीविजन पर धारावाहिक आता है स्टार प्लस पर सोम से गुरुवार तक रोज शाम को 8 बजे, इतवार को इसके रिपीट एपिसोड्स होते हैं सुबह 10 से दोपहर 1 बजे तक स्टार प्लस पर मुंबई। वो उनके क्रिएटिव जीनियस देवदत्त पटनायक ने कही हुई बात जीतूराज तेरे आगे रख रहा है, गौर से सुनना। एंड इट्स इन इंग्लिश filled with Sanskrit, Hindi, India. Quote unquote Devdatta Patnaik as published in the Speaking Tree of the Times of India. The Puranas say that Manu was the first leader of Manavas, people who possess manas or imagination, that is, humans. In every age, there is a Manu who writes the Manusmriti, code of appropriate social conduct for humans. The first Manusmriti established the caste system and validated practice of untouchability and seeing women as being inferior to men. We rejected it, and rightly so. The Constitution, the new Manusmriti, rejects homosexuals. At least that is what the Supreme Court judgment on IPC 377 seems to suggest in spirit, if not letter. From a procedural point of view, we can argue that Shikhandi is not homosexual. Never mind that in Vyasa's Sanskrit Mahabharata, she is described as being born a woman, raised as a man, given a wife who turns away from her in disgust, forcing her to acquire male genitalia from a yaksha called Sthulakarna. Was Shikhandi male or female? What will Shikhandi's physical intimacy with a partner be construed as? Homo or heterosexual? But Shikhandi's very existence would be invalid in India, going by the SC judgment that criminalizes those with a different sexual orientation. In the Mahabharata, Bhishma refuses to raise his bow against this non-man. But Shikhandi rides proudly on Krishna's chariot and enables Arjuna to bring the old warlord down with Krishna's blessings. And as he lies in bed, Bhishma tells the Pandavas stories of Yuvanashva, the man who accidentally became pregnant by drinking a magic potion meant for his wives, and Bhangasvana, who lived his life both as man and woman and so had children who called their parent both as father and mother. These queer narratives are meant to educate the Pandavas as they prepare to become the next generation of kings. Indic temple art, including in Konark, Kanchipuram and Thiruvananthapuram, display women in different stages of undress, in passionate embrace, platonic, lesbian, or simply designed to titillate men. Among the many costumes of Krishna in Nathadwara, Rajasthan, is the Stri Vesh, where he wears women's clothes, remembering his mother and his beloved Radha and his form as Mohini. In Mathura, Shiva is Gopeshwara. The mask on the Shivaling is decorated with female accessories to participate in Krishna's Rasa Leela. Perhaps these were affectionate acknowledgement of transgender realities. In their writings, Naneshwar and Tukaram address Vitthal, Krishna, to most Maharashtrians as Vithai or Mother Vitthal. God is not father, but mother. For in love and devotion, gender is sublimated. Such transgressive ideas can indeed be extended to romantic and sexual love. Many male devotees see themselves as lovers of God, who they view as male while they express their longing in feminine terms. Are these mere metaphors or an acknowledgement of transgressive desires? Are they only limited to devotional spaces? Can they extend to laws of modern society that can then look beyond gender at emotions and allow consenting adults to make love in private? Why hinder the mind's expansion? The Upanishads refer to God as Brahman to indicate that Manas, as in mind, can Brah, as in expand. But we choose to stay Brahmins, followers of Brahma, never quite expanding, digging at our heels, arguing the right to stagnate, even regress. In the 8th century Tamil poet Nammalvar wrote, "We here and that man, this man, and that other in between, and that woman, this woman, and that other whoever. Being all of them, he stands there." The verse so wonderfully makes room for the entire spectrum of humanity. So different, is it not, from India's Supreme Court today? देवदत्त पटनायक के इस विचार के साथ we shall leave you where we only hope, and you know what. रेडियो मिर्ची 98.3 FM पर यो विचितुराज।